Hello, everyone. And today I have a special guest. Her name is Cathleen Beerkens, who she'll be sharing with us new science to healing. And it was actually her dog, Chloe, with whom I did a reading with. And then during our follow up, I learned the depth of what Kathleen has been proficiently working on in helping the world heal. And I knew immediately, I just knew I had to share her work with all of you here today. So I want to welcome all of you. And for those who don't know who I am, my name is Dulcinea, and I am an animal communicator, pet psychic. They mean the same thing. I talk with animals and help animals help their humans to heal. So today I have Kathleen with us, and just to give you a little bit of background about Kathleen, she's the founder of a wellness revolution and a pioneer in the space of holistic healing. She teaches students and clients how to work with the new science to heal their bodies and expand their consciousness and create the lives they truly desire. So, and I'm just so excited to share with you that Kathleen is actually launching her book entitled Your Creator Matrix: How to Use Optimal Wellness and Quantum Healing to Master Your Story and Create Your Reality. And oh my God, the artwork is beautiful. Kathleen,
Well,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you. I'm so delighted, Dulce. And
Oh,
I do think things never are by accident. How we met, we were brought together by my dear, lovely dog who is with me
Chloe.
still, but Chloe. But I'm grateful for your work. And I think everything is important. Like we are together to help humanity, both of us. So we are kindred spirits, and we have this together. Um, Yes, and I love, I think every aspect of health and wellness is so important because, we were given such beautiful gifts to
Mm,
be here on earth, and one of them are dogs and animals, right? They
yes.
are just amazing.
Yeah.
And another one is other people.
Mm,
So we have each other as human beings.
mm,
Now, I think one of the challenges, of course, is what's happening right now. And that's what I wanted to actually start with. We are in a really big time. It is in a time of change. I use the word entropy here
mhm.
because what's happening, the word entropy means to break down systems, right? Or break down, actually, in biology, it refers to breaking down like the cellular structure, but it really means breaking down. So, like, chaos. It creates
Right,
chaos.
right.
So if you think about what's happening in the world right now and in everyone's life
Mhm.
more than ever before, it's just chaos. Every system is chaos. So it's not a bad thing though, because in order for things to change, science shows us that first they have to kind of break down, but it's more to break through to a new moment. So, but you can imagine right now what is happening is the most amazing time to be on planet Earth because there has never been a time like this. Never.
Mm-mm. No.
It's
And
phenomenal.
so what inspired you to open yourself up to write this amazing book?
Well, okay, I have to go a little bit back to when I was a child because I think, I mean, some of us are like, we just knew as children that we didn't really belong here, and it was a weird feeling. I was raised with a big family, Irish Catholic family, and they are lovely. I am so blessed. But still, I was different, and I could see things, and I could feel energies, and I was just different. And so it made me nervous, actually. I was not comfortable. here in the density that is here, this place, the duality, the dark and the light, the stories. I was so sensitive. I would get as a child get caught up in every story, not only the ones in my family, because there were enough of them. It's a
You
big
mean the drama?
family. Yeah, the dramas, the stories, whatever, the whole thing. It was just crazy. So I would feel it like it was mine, like I was experiencing it, and I had no ability to separate. I also felt like, honestly, if I really look back, I would look out of my eyes and think, I know that could be different. It doesn't have to be this painful. It doesn't have to be existence doesn't have to suffer on this
Right,
level,
right,
right? It was
right.
so much suffering. So I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, that was as a child, right? Then my parents got divorced. And I tell this whole story in my book because everyone's story matters. We have a story because we need it. It helps the development of our soul. So
Right.
even for, and it guides us. So even for me, my story was like everyone else's, filled with hills and valleys and good points and like kind of dark ones. And it was sort of like, how could I handle that?
Yeah.
But there was this thing, I always had this ability to be guided by source. And so at one point, I remember I was like a little child and I would go say, oh, dear God, where am I? Can you please guide me here? Because this is horrible where I am right now. There were just things that happened and I just was like, oh, this is horrible. So now the funny thing is you don't even remember everything about yourself, right?
Right.
So I had a good friend who recently said to me, and this is kind of humorous, you were the only friend I know that on Saturday night at age 18, you woke up, you went out and partied, and you woke up at 6 or 7 in the morning to prepare for Sunday school for the children.
Oh,
But I
oh,
thought to but I love children, just like I love animals. So I was as a young person, I wanted, and I still do, this is one of my I train health and wellness coaches from all over the world at a high level holistically heal to learn about how through coaching, people can self-heal. It's actually beautiful. But I do that so that it's the same thing. The new kids are here. They need to be guided. So when I get new kids in my class, every cohort, I'm like, yes, I have more because I feel that that is my mission to help
beautiful,
the new souls that are here and the total chaos somehow
beautiful.
get guidance. And I believe that all the older souls in my course are also guidance. Like they're wise, they've lived this life. It's really interesting. And also the young ones themselves are wise. So it's a great interaction on my cohorts. But anyway, getting back, I want to say that I think I was called as a young person to help the children.
Yes.
And and then I had my own.
Of course,
I was
right?
I was called at first to go in the hospitals and learn the most heavy I was called to be in a hospital, and I now know I couldn't be a doctor in this life because I think I have been a doctor before, but it would be way too distracting from what I needed to do. So
Mhm.
I was going to be a nurse, and believe me, I chose the hardest floors, the most I mean, pain, they were losing like, I was on a floor with people, I almost like it was terrible, but they were losing all parts of their face and
Mm.
throat, and it was so intense, and I was so young to see all that, but I had to see it
How young
because,
were you? How young?
I was like 26 and
That's young.
I was looking at them and I realized something. I always knew we weren't our bodies,
Right.
but when you don't have the ability to talk, eat, practically breathe, and you're still there. I had to find a way to communicate with them. And so that was really challenging, but I did it and under really adverse circumstances. And I loved the patients. But after a while, like what I learned is that I went in to make people better. I had this illusion that we were going to be in a world of wellness and happiness
Oh,
and light. And what I found was the exact opposite. And everything in there, like in the medical system at that time, even though people were great souls and I loved the people I worked with, we were up against a system, an old system that was not for wellness.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, after a while, no, I can't do this. This is not why I'm here.
Yeah.
Although I get it, I did it. Then I went into labor and delivery, like very intense, but I was in Washington, D.C.,
Oh,
and there were a lot of babies, right? People on drugs, and a lot of things happened there. So after a while, after like 12 years of doing this work and having my firstborn, I knew that I had to leave this for a while. I was completely burned out. And I really hats off to every person in COVID and all the medical people who do what they do, because quite honestly, it is one of the hardest jobs on the planet to be
absolutely.
there in the medical system, helping people 24 hours a day. I did sometimes 20, 24-hour shifts. Doctors do way longer. It's not okay, but it's the system, right? So it's not a well system. I never felt well.
The system is broken.
Yeah, like I was like, we were eating pizza at 2 in the morning, coffee just to stay awake, and that's not also well.
No.
So anyway, the
Okay.
bottom line is I was on a journey to figure things out because I had a lot of questions. If illness is here and wellness is here and we're all somewhere in the middle, why don't people know? They have no That's the other thing that bothered me. Nobody People came in like hundreds with cancer diagnosis, hundreds. And I'm like, they didn't know, they had no idea. They didn't feel it. They didn't have any connection to their bodies,
Yeah.
their heart, their minds. Where are they? I was laughing at the time, but it's
Well,
not
you
funny.
needed to because that was the only way you could handle it and
It's
process it.
actually right. It's actually not funny
No,
because
it's not, but
we,
yeah.
yeah, we have, but I think now people are waking up because we are in the awakening. So
Yes.
people are waking up, and this is a very special time. It's a precession of the equinox of 26,000 years where we were in darkness. Literally, our planet Earth was going through a dark field, imagine in the universe. And now, wow, isn't this incredible? We're in a photonic belt of light as of 2020.
Wow.
It actually, I will say, it started in the 60s, like getting ready to come into it.
Mhm.
It's been coming, all the change since I was born. And many of us light workers came to hold a high frequency light for the shift.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
understand?
Oh,
And
yes.
so you might say, or someone listening might say, shift. What is shift in what? Shift in consciousness. That is a big word, isn't it, Dulce?
It is a big
Consciousness.
word. Could you break that down, what that really means?
Yes. Consciousness is we are we actually are spirit coming in a body. It's an illusion, everything. We're in like a sci-fi movie. Actually, it's true. The Matrix, I did it on purpose. The Matrix is literally a place, an existence, right?
Mhm.
Where a structure is built. Okay. So imagine that's the matrix. And we're learning that our what my book is about the idea that we are creating our reality all the time, even in the dark ages, but we didn't know because we were in the dark. We were sleeping beauties, all of us. We had no idea that we were creating our reality. So we are co-creating because we're not alone. That's the thing. But we have to first realize that we're creators. Because if we don't realize we're a creator, we can't understand consciousness. There's no way. Because we have to understand that we create our reality. Once we realize that everything we do, and I'm going to go into that in a second,
Mm.
is impacting what's coming in our life, we start to pay attention. And I mean, pay attention. And we
And
start
that
to go,
means the person
yeah,
is in the present moment as opposed
yeah,
to
yes,
floating around, just wondering why they're
yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, the past doesn't even exist anymore and the future isn't here yet.
Right.
So most of us have been trained to, in the conscious mind, to live in the past and the future. And the reason we do that is because our conscious mind is very imaginative,
Mhm.
and it gets caught up in storylines everywhere. It's just crazy. Instead of being the creator, we get caught up in all the things around us that are happening. And a lot of it brings us back with memories to the past and emotions that we didn't like. So, like, I'll give you an example. If you watch the news, which I don't do anymore,
I don't either.
it is a very low frequency, a lot of dark energy. That's where we came from in the dark ages. So we're listening to all these stories of war and whatever. And immediately we're brought back somewhere also in our DNA, in our subconscious.
Mhm.
And we're brought back and we are almost like the fears come out, you see. So if you're busy with watching that and it somehow helps you, that's okay. I don't judge anybody. I think that's the first step, not to judge people.
Thank you.
We're all, yeah, we're all we're all in this different, we're all here for a reason and we're all in a different kind. I don't want to say just for a different reason. So if you're here to create new systems in the future, you might not be realizing it yet because we're not really the systems are going to be built and there's some of us have ideas and some of the systems have started to be built, but we have a long way to go, right?
Right.
If we're tearing down now and we're getting to the end of the tearing down, we're going to be seeing new systems coming. Literally, we already are, but we're going to see a lot more.
Could you explain, because I have your chapters here and they're powerful. Could you further explain and give an overview of
Yes, I want to go
how,
back to consciousness. Yeah, that's good.
right, how our energies are frequencies, and that when
Yeah,
there's a coherence and you identify the quantum field, you identify quantum healing. Um,
exactly.
can you explain, and if you want to like pinpoint different parts of the
Yeah.
chapters, or that would be
Sure.
fantastic. So everybody has a good feeling like, oh, I get it. I need that book. I need that. I need Kathleen's guidance.
Yeah. Well, I think, if this resonates with you and you're out there, then you will know. You will know. You'll have a little thing calling. Listen to your inner voice. I always say that to the
Yeah,
students who come. Like, if you feel it, come. If you don't feel it, it might not be your path yet. I want to say that the consciousness is our ability to be aware. And the more conscious we are, the more we can become aware of. And so, if we are having a quantum leap in consciousness, we are all becoming a lot more aware.
right.
And we're a lot more aware of everything we have created. And it is right now quite painful because we're like, oh, that's horrible. Oh, that system. Oh, that
Yeah,
doesn't feel good. We did that for years. Oh, so the book is not about negativity. It's about saying, this is where we are now. And where are we going to go? And why are we here on earth? And that actual question of why we're here, we all need to ask. Because if we don't, that is one of the first steps in realizing that you are creator.
right.
When you say, why am I here?
And there are a lot of humans out there that don't want to be here, that are resisting
Yeah,
and not happy, and they can't stand
I
being
know.
here. And I used to be one of them back in my 20s. I used to have that belief system and those emotions. Can you address some light on this subject?
Sure. I think it's very normal to not want to be here because this duality is very dense and heavy, and we get very stuck here. So we're moving out of that, believe it or not. So if you can, what is important in this process of moving out of duality, we are, how can I say it? We were something like 70, like almost 80% dark
Hmm.
and only 20% light in the dark ages, which is not much light. So you had to be so brave and so strong to be here. You were like amazing. And we are amazing. We are really amazing souls.
Where?
I really think one of the things that happened to me when I woke up is I started to look at everybody and my heart started growing and I started having this love for all of humanity because we were willing to do this, come in this earth, because there are many other planets that are lighter. This is the heaviest. So now what's happening is it has been decided, we call it collectively and consciously, collective conscious, decided to to make this ascension. and not to destroy planet Earth. This happened in 1989. It's called the harmonic convergence. And there was a decision, believe it or not, in consciousness that we would go to this new time. And this new time is where we will see more and we will be in the light planet. So it's not even 50-50. It's not even neutral anymore. It's light. We don't even know what this is. Well, we do. Some of us do. I think we do somewhere. But maybe we don't when we look at Earth, because when we look at what's in front of us,
Mhm.
then we don't, because it's very overwhelming. So we can't even imagine a total loving planet. We
Well,
can't.
and that's because many people are looking at it through the three-dimensional, the matter world, the
Yes.
physical matter world, which they call
Yes.
3D.
Yes. So that's a little interesting. I go into that in the book, but there's a difference between a dimension and a density.
Mhm,
A dimension is what we see. So the possibility of what we see.
mhm.
So we were in three-dimensional reality, which means we only saw, I mean, it's really science and math. And we only saw if you took this point, and you took a point here, and that was what we saw. So imagine if you had a whole circle, we didn't see very much of the circle, right? No, we saw this little world here. That's funny, isn't it? So saw hardly any of it. So now if you can imagine we're going to fourth and fifth dimensional, we'll see, and I'm going to tell it's really density, but the dimension is what you see. Then suddenly fourth dimension, you're going to see much more. You know, and that's what's happening. We're in the shift where we're seeing much more of our reality. So what that means, this is what it means. And that's why all of you should have hope. What it means is that we're starting off with a lot less light. Light is information. That's what it is. Darkness is the absence of information. Think about it. Light is information, dark. So we were in a really we were playing out stories in the dark. You might say, why were we doing that, right? You were like,
Why
why
are we
were we
playing in the dark?
yeah, why are we playing in the dark? Because we would grow so much in our hearts and we would connect in a different way
Mhm.
than we will now connect.
Beautiful.
It's imagine that. Imagine, you know, some people think the world wouldn't be fun without darkness because they love the duality. They love that they're like without, light, you wouldn't know dark without good, bad, all this. But we can't imagine that right now because we're so stuck in it.
Right.
But actually, as we'll evolve out of it, we'll be totally excited.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why humans are so attracted, not to get off tangent, but they're so attracted to animals because animals understand
Yes.
that
Oh, yeah.
without having, to think about it, but because they emulate that through their frequency and their vibration. It's
Yeah,
powerful.
it is. And animals, look, I go into that too. So density is the amount of light you can hold in your physical body.
Mhm.
So the more light you can hold, the more light is information, the more information you hold, the more powerful you are. And you can only get light when you're ready for it.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
So animals they didn't have the conscious mind like we do. They do, but not they don't go in the future and the past because
No.
and we were once them. Like we've been everything.
Right.
So it's all an experience. So an animal can easily be in another realm because they're just in the now. They
Yes.
don't live in the past and the future. They just don't. So it's so I explain in the book the difference in dimension and densities, and I take you on a journey of multidimensional living, which is really important to understand what's happening to us. And as we understand that we're body, mind, spirit, and emotion, that we are all of it and it's one matrix,
Mhm.
and I call it the creator matrix, we can start to understand that we can do anything. We are so, but you asked me about a universal field. It's very complicated, the story. We are connected to a universal field
Mhm.
of light and information.
Mhm.
It's a mind. It's a mind of all knowing.
Mhm.
and we are aspects of it, and we are it,
We are
actually.
it. Yes.
Yeah, but
And it
I
has
think
nothing to
yeah,
do with the body. The body, though, is physically here holding, but we go beyond the body.
like the velica a vehicle. We
Exactly.
made the body, but if actually, if we look at the body is just so dense right now.
Mhm.
But where we're going to go, we're going to become more of a light body and less of a carbon based structure. We're going to go to a crystalline structure. And the new sciences are showing us that. And I go into those. Um, and the crystalline structure, it doesn't decay. It lasts, it lives eternal.
Right.
It's a
It's
different thing,
right.
and so we're going to go there. And that is so amazing because, I mean, I believe that, of course, I was raised Catholic, but I believe that what, for me, Christ was saying
Right.
was that he was kind of helping us understand something big was going to happen in this time. It's called the end times, but it's really the end of the old time and the
Exactly.
beginning of new time. But I think Christ's whole message was the new time will be about love
Exactly. That's what
and
his teachings were all about.
yes,
Not
and
to get into
healing.
religion, but to
No,
get
no, it's
into
not.
facts.
Yeah. And when the thing is, I learned how to heal. Well, I think I always knew. And I think many of us are in other lives, we've helped people heal, like shamans or doctors or whatever. And so one day, I tell this in the book, I was invited by my sister-in-law to someone who knew how to do healing and heal with hands. And I was rolling my eyes. Imagine I was a very, at that moment, Western nurse.
Right.
I really was not awakened in this way yet. And I was like, why do you want to take me for my birthday present to heal with my hands? I really was resistant. It was crazy. I go there, I go there, and I feel everything, and she feels nothing. It is humorous. So I started like feeling everything, all these frequencies, and that's the field. So I was feeling it. We all can feel it. Healing is Christ healed through that field and through light. And, if you think about what he said, and many masters, beautiful masters on the planet have also healed, many. And so, healing, I believe, I don't ever want to say I'm a healer ever again, because I want to say, so now I have this new thing, Healing Facilitator. But I want to say that we are going to learn to self heal.
And we
And
have the ability right now.
yes, yes,
Right now.
yes, yes,
In your book with these amazing chapters, do you provide a methodology, if you will, and the science behind healing
yeah,
and the science behind why
yeah,
science is real and the healing in the quantum. Can you walk someone through um one or two examples in your book so they
yeah.
really get
I
a
think, let me explain. So I decided to do this project after years of research. I became almost a world expert on this one science. I decided to go tell everyone about the science because I felt like it was important. It was so important. It was about ourselves. We cannot be healthy without ourselves being healthy. And we cannot be healthy without communication between all our cells and all the parts of our body. And because we're so dense, we can easily get blockages. That's the problem. And so in the book, I describe what the problem is of disconnection, but I also talk about how we can reconnect. And through, you asked for two examples. Well, there are so many, but I will give you one. I was at a conference recently in Phoenix, Arizona with masters, really, Bruce Lipton, so many
oh,
people, Dr. Jane. And Dr. Jane is a healer and or she helps people heal. She's a doctor and she wrote a book on healing. But what I found interesting about her work is that I love sound, right? I just love, I have, on my YouTube channel, there's a lady who heals, a very amazing healer and hauler, well, person who helps people heal
mhm.
through her voice. And she really does. I mean, it's quite amazing, but we could do it ourselves. So what Dr. Jane did is she took us through exercises to hum and make noises that open all of our chakras and heal and make all of our energetic field move. Because everything is like light and everything is frequency.
Yes.
Okay. And so if we get when our body gets stuck, we're at a very low frequency,
Hmm.
and we have the power to raise our frequency on all levels of body, mind, spirit, and emotion. So you might be very busy right now working on your body's health. Congratulations, that's very important. And that I love that, because our body is our we are given these beautiful bodies, and we need to love them and nurture them and care for them. And we're not taught this. We just abuse them, right? It's really unbelievable. But we also have emotions, and emotions tell us how we're doing. But most of us don't look at it like that, where they just get stuck in it for years. I
Yep.
know people who had one story happen to them, and their whole emotional, every time you see them, it's the same thing. They're just sad, and you can feel it, right? When you meet someone who's sad, you can feel it. Why is that? They radiate that frequency because the emotion of sadness is on every cell of the body. Is that amazing?
That is
So,
amazing.
I mean, think of that. So we can, by thinking the word joy, just that's the second thing I give you. Think the word joy. Everyone who's listening, you will feel better. Your frequency immediately goes up. And we just need these kind of simple things to get started. But eventually, we will heal all levels. And I believe that there's one other thing. What we think is so powerful. Our thoughts are how we create our reality. It starts with that, the mind, the universal mind. We are given a mind. So we have a thought, I'm going to be sick forever. Guess what? You will,
Bingo.
because you believe it. That's what you believe. So it's very important when I work with clients to get in touch with what their opinion is or their belief system about their own body's ability to heal.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. That's powerful because it starts with the belief system.
yeah. So if you don't believe it, you're not going to be healthy, because you're constantly giving messages from your subconscious that life is miserable and you're going to always be sick, and then you are. So we need to realize these things, but we just have been programmed differently. We've been trained differently. So we've been trained to be fearful of disease and parasites and viruses. So in the book, I explain what all that is. So everybody, like, viruses are information. Can you imagine? Nobody even knows that. They're little bits of information.
I
It
didn't
just
know
goes,
that.
yeah,
I'm learning that right now. That's
yeah.
amazing.
And they have helped us evolve.
That I knew. That I knew. But
Yeah.
I didn't
So
correlate it. That's
yeah.
powerful.
So think about COVID. We were
Yeah.
in a what did I say? We were in ascension. We needed a massive shift. We all got, and by the way, COVID helped us, and I talk about this too. We are in such a stress world, and we're yang, 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 yin and yang, right? We're too
Right.
much yang, all of us.
Right.
We just are forced to work hard and all these things, and we never rest. And this is a problem. We never rest and digest. So in the book, I talk about the importance of that and why we need to be balanced, because the body, the way we are right now, needs both. Now, maybe in the future, I think we'll still need a little bit of yin always, but yin you could think of as like an inward energetic feeling, like when you're safe and cuddled in the bed and you feel so
Yeah.
happy just being by yourself. And yang is when you dare to go out in the world and create something, or meet somebody, have a meeting, or
Right.
interact with life.
Right.
So we need both,
Yes.
but
Yes.
we are not getting.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love this. I'm just so fascinated by this, and I'm so excited because I know right now your book is on pre-order.
Yes. I am having a book launch in New York City on March 11th from 5 to 8. Everyone's welcome to meet me, and I'll give a lecture about it, and a little more than now. And you will meet my sister who did the project. We say two sisters coming together for humanity.
Beautiful.
And and she will be there with all 13 of her pictures, and you can see them and even order them. They're beautiful. They're
Beautiful.
very uplifting, and they tell the story of who we are and the sciences that have become the matrix, that are how that explain how things work.
Right.
So a structure is made to function. Our bodies are structure
Right.
to hold spirit, to function, to do something.
Right.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is
So,
beautiful. It's beautiful.
yeah,
And I know you have amazing diagrams throughout the
yeah,
book that allows the reader to not have to question. I'm not sure if I understand this because the diagrams explain it so
yeah.
beautifully. So
Thank you,
I'm
Del.
just, oh my God, no, thank you. It's just a beautiful book and I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Oh,
So,
thank you so much, Dolls. I'm excited too, and I would love to just say, whoever buys the book, don't read it all in one day. Just it's the kind of book you read a little part and digest it,
mhm,
and you think, how could this help me? How could this information help me be a better version of myself? Let's
exactly.
say.
Now, how can people reach out to you? How can they connect with you?
Yeah. Well, I have a website, a wellness revolution.
Okay.
And you can, if you're not able to be at the book launch, which I'm sure a lot of you cannot, you don't live near New York. But if you want to connect, you can, it's everything's on the website to connect to me, awellnessrevolution.com.
Okay.
And you can also, of course, write an email and we can put that below.
Yeah, we'll put everything below this video for everyone's convenience and to go check it out. Go pre and you are taking pre-orders, correct?
Yes, as of probably March 15th, that's available to pre-order on Amazon. I
Okay.
also wanted to say
Mhm.
that you can, um, I have all like I have a YouTube channel. I have since 2020, I was called by Spirit to start interviewing people who are doing the work, bringing health and wellness to humanity. So I have a lot of new technologies on there, as well as you, Delsa, who are so beautiful,
Oh, thank
helping all these people. No, really, it's so special.
you.
So I just wanted to say that.
It is wonderful. Oh my goodness. Kathleen, again, I can't thank you enough. This has
Oh,
been wonderful, mind blowing, opening, allowing one to breathe and go, I knew this, but I had a feeling, or I need this, or thank you.
you're welcome.
Any and all of those feelings that are coming out as everyone is watching this amazing interview. So,
Oh,
like I said, everything for Kathleen's information will be below this video. And whatever questions you have or any comments, feel free to comment below it. Either I or Kathleen will respond. And I want to thank you again, Kathleen. And
oh.
hopefully, I will be in New York.
Oh God, that'd be so great, Delsa. And I'm totally excited that we've met. It's like a real sister soul connection. And
Yes,
I feel honored anyway. Thank you
thank
for
you.
doing this interview, showing my work, and what can I say? But I'm in gratitude.
Ah, thank you. And I will see all of you next time and have a beautiful day. Namaste.